Hello, this is King Rawl, and I'll be showing you how to create custom tiles for your belt. I am using Windows 7 and Blender 2.66 Alpha. This is the most current version that I like without glitches. You might, if you have experience in Blender, you might have a different version. Use whatever you feel is comfortable. I'm using the presets Maya. First off, we're going to need to import an STL file, and that is located for me in the belt letters. We're going to look for belt letter blank for rivets. So this is the one that has the rivet holes on this design, so that whenever you're combining them, you've got a recessed area right here that you can have your melted plastic. So Z on the keyboard toggles the wireframe and solid mode using those Maya settings. First off, we're going to need to click on our wrench on this tool shelf over here, which is our modifiers. We're going to add a modifier, boolean, and we're going to make it a union. Well, we've got nothing to make a union with yet, so we'll have to create something. So we're going to go to add text. Go ahead and go into wireframe mode so that way we can see it. Well, it's too small, so we're going to have to scale it up. Tab, and you can type whatever you want. But let's just go ahead and stay with the alphabet. Start out with A. Tab back from edit mode back into object mode. Move it to where we want it and scale it up a little bit more. Alright, first off, let's go ahead and find the font that we want to use. So with that text selected, over here on our tool shelf, we're going to find the fonts tab. Scroll down to our the font selection, and over here is the regular. So using the regular, let's go ahead and click on that folder and find your fonts. On Windows, it's under C drive, Windows fonts. I have plenty installed already. Let's go ahead and show you how to install these fonts. You can find them on any nearly any website that is hosting these. Just type in a search for font styles, find one that you like. There's also tutorials online that you can find, make your own fonts. After you have your font file downloaded and selected, all you have to do is just drag and drop it into your fonts folder. Well, it's actually going to install it. You're not actually copying the file, so I've already got this one installed. So it's installing Canterbury Regular. It's already installed. So now I can find it in here, and that changed my letter to the Canterbury style. I don't necessarily like that. Let's go ahead and make that taller, make it a little more form-fitting. Let's go ahead and scale that up a little bit more. That's about right. So this is not a mesh yet, so we can't utilize that modifier over here on our tool shelf, the union modifier. So let's go ahead and turn that text into a mesh. So over here, click on Objects, Convert to Mesh. Well, we got a little bit of a problem with that version, but if we hit Tab and go into edit mode, we still have the vertices that make up the outline for it. Now, I'm not going to go into detail on how to fix this, but you can select 3 or 4 vertices, click F, and it'll create a face for those vertices. Now whenever tab, it's got that added to it. So you just keep doing that until you've completed the whole outline of it. It's kind of like connect the dots. Well, I don't want to go ahead and keep doing that. So let's go ahead and choose a different letter. B. Okay. Go ahead and make that pretty. Alright, so let's go ahead and center the B as good as we want. That's good. Object, convert to mesh. Alright, now we're ready to make this suitable to join these two. Right now it's just considered a plane. That's just a two-dimensional image. There's nothing to it. If I didn't have it selected right here, it actually disappeared, because in two-dimensional space you won't be able to even see a line. Now, to modify this into 3 dimensions, let's go ahead and hit tab. All my vertices are selected. Hold control, hit E for extrude. Let's go ahead and hit enter. Go ahead and rotate our view to the front view, and we're actually going to extrude this out so that the top of the letter reaches the top of the tile. So while I was moving that, if you looked over here to the right, the Z-axis was moving, the numbers. And let's go ahead and hover our mouse pointer over that. Hold Control C. So we're going to copy that to our clipboard. Tab out of it, back into object mode. Select our tile, and we're going to actually create our union now. Apply. So if I tab back into, or hit Z and go back from wireframe to solid mode, you can actually see that it's one solid object now. So after that's been applied, file, export as an STL. So I've already created my folder for the fonts. I'm going to be creating all of them for this same one. So the folder is going to be the font style, and I'm going to name each one of them that font underscore, and then uppercase whatever letter is on that tile. That way I know whenever I want to build, put everything on in my slicing program, I can just select each letter in the font that I want and print more than one tile at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and save over this one, Canterbury B, export STL. So in order to get back how it was, I hit Control Z, 2, 3, 4, usually 5 times. Should take you right back to editing your text. So let's go ahead and try C. Object, convert to mesh, tab, Control E, hit enter. Alright. Now, if I rotate this back, instead of pulling this up to where it'll be even with that, let's go ahead and leave it down here. I'll hover my mouse over that Z-axis, hold Control V. That's actually going to shoot it right where it was on the last one, on my B. Now, keep in mind though, if you scale this for larger or wider letters like the W or M, say you're going to want to scale it down so that the W or M will fit. Well, whenever you go into this and then you go over to the Z, hit Control V, it's actually going to be in a different spot than lined up with that. So keep in mind that that's going to have to change every time that you scale the letter. well, every time that you scale your font, that's going to change. So we're trying to keep all the same settings in this. So we'll go back to this, and we're back to the C where it was the scale size as the B. So we'll go ahead and apply our union. Apply, file, export, STL, C. Okay. Control Z is undo. Do that 5 times. Tab. Let's try D. Alright, object. Convert to mesh. Tab and edit. Control E. Enter. Control V. Puts it right where I need it. That's fine. Apply my union. Oh no! Something messed up. Well, in Blender and any 3D program, everything has what's called normals. Normals is like the inside or outside. So on my D, my letter that I just created, I'm going to go into edit mode, select all. If it's not selecting all, then probably over here it's probably under deselect. So open up this drop down menu, select toggle until all of them are shown. Now what we want to do is mesh, normals, recalculate outside. If that doesn't work, recalculate inside. So I'll go ahead and hit tab to get out of it. Select that, and hey, I've got my tile now. Go ahead and apply that. File, export, STL, D, export. It's as simple as that. If you've already got experience using Blender or any other 3D program, go ahead and utilize those same things in the program that you are using, that you're used to using. If you're not familiar with any kind of 3D program, hopefully I was able to show you enough that way you can get by without actually having to learn the whole program itself. If you want to learn more about Blender or some other 3D programs and how to use them, I suggest visiting Jason Welsh's YouTube page, Canned Mushrooms. He has some great tutorials on how to work around Blender and how to navigate. He also does Maya and ZBrush and I think 1 or 2 other 3D programs. If you have any questions, let me know if I didn't address something, that any other problems that you might have. And these text files are essentially scalable vector graphics. So if you got an SVG file that you've made from a picture, then you can also make this, instead of using fonts, you can use the pictures. So let's say you got Wingdings. Wingdings is a picture. So that changed my image to Wingdings. Convert to mesh. Control E. Control V. Tab. Back to modifier text. Okay. So that created a picture instead of a text. it all works in essentially the same way. SVG file is actually kind of like a curve path whenever it's made, so it gets treated the same way as the font file. Try to stay away from thin walls. These are probably not too thin. Try to stay away from the fonts that have the very slivers of a line on the side. Your extruder probably won't be thin enough to make that, or would be too fragile to actually stay on as a print. I hope this has been a good tutorial for you, and you know, show us pictures of what you've created. Thank you.